What if I told you that believing in some higher power will help you move past any career or business block you're currently experiencing? That you need to plug into the source, a source of energy, the source of energy, whether that's God, universe, consciousness, whatever you may call it, to grow in life and in your career and in business. It's a must. It's a key part in overcoming a belief system that may be holding you back. If you've ever felt disillusioned with religion or your own spirituality, then stick with me today because we're going to be exploring where science and philosophy cross, where they intersect. And then we're going to talk about how to move beyond your own spiritual confusion and grow in personal and in your professional life. So let's dig in. So I've got to admit, I was a terrible Catholic. I didn't like going to church. I struggled to believe the stories. It just all felt rigid and confusing, or even worse, irrelevant. So like many people I know, I wandered spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and I wandered for decades. But here's the interesting part. Even as I stepped away from religion, I never fully stepped away from belief. I just didn't know what exactly I believed in. So I leaned forward towards something, some kind of higher power, a guiding force, an energy, but I couldn't name it. Was it God? Was it the universe? Was it consciousness? Was it vibration? And because I was trained as an engineer, someone who was taught to seek proof and patterns and logic, I didn't default to blind faith. I needed something that made sense for me. Something that connected the dots between science and spirit. Something that helped me understand not just how the universe worked, but how I worked within it. And that's when I found some philosophy and energy and a completely new lens on what it means to grow, evolve, and become the person you are meant to be. So, what do you think about this? Everything is energy, and it's not just woo. I mean, take it down to its smallest part, smaller than molecules, smaller than the atoms. And what do you get? You get energy, a dance of particles vibrating, interacting, moving in and out of form. That's not a spiritual metaphor. That's quantum mechanics. But here's where it gets interesting. And when you combine this understanding of energy with some ancient philosophical laws of the universe, a whole new framework for life opens up, especially for high achievers who feel stuck or tired or disconnected because suddenly this isn't about hustling harder or thinking more positively. It's about how you flow. And flow, my friend, it's about energy. So let's talk about one universal law in particular, the law of attraction. I know you've heard of it. It's some type of version, maybe a quote like attracts like, right? I mean, you become what you think about. But this isn't about magical thinking. It's about energetic alignment. The basic idea is this: joy, fulfillment, love, and peace. These exist at a high energy frequency. Then doubt and fear and shame and scarcity, these are low energy frequencies. And the high energy attracts high energy. So if you're operating from stress and resentment or burnout, even if you're putting in the work and checking all the boxes, you're not in alignment with the very outcomes you want. And what's the result? Well, you stay stuck, you spin, and you chase, and nothing meaningful shifts. But I'll tell you what I thought. Being an engineer, I thought energy flows from high to low. That's like the second law of thermodynamics. It's about how energy typically flows from a state of high potential to low potential. Entropy is that measurement of disorder. So something more ordered is going to flow to something less ordered. And that's like heat moving from hot to cold. And that's the science. That's the science we've been taught. Think about it. How does this match up with the law of attraction that says high energy attracts high energy? Sounds like a contradiction. Maybe. Maybe not. Because here's the shift that helped me reconcile it. Thermodynamics describes what energy does in a closed system. The universal law describes what energy responds to in an open system. And guess what? We're not in closed systems. We are dynamic. We evolve. We're emotionally charged, belief-driven, emotional beings, right? We are open systems, constantly in exchange with our environment, our thoughts, our habits, and our beliefs. And so this means if you are operating from a low energetic baseline, drained by stress, scarcity, maybe the old wounds, limiting beliefs, then yes, your potential desires, joy, purpose, and freedom will always flow away from you. But if you raise your energetic state, if you heal, expand, and align your beliefs, you become a magnet for that high energy. You don't chase, you attract. That's not magic, that's resonance. So how do you raise your energy? Let's be clear. This isn't about fake positivity or spiritual bypassing. You can't slap a smile on your face and manifest your dream in life. It's deeper than that, unfortunately, and harder. But it's more liberating than anything else I've ever experienced. And here's the real path. This is what you need to think about. Clear out the noise. Your mind is so full of noise and overthinking and negativity. You don't need more content, you need clarity. So quiet, stillness, and reflection. Work that into your routine. Quiet, stillness, and reflection. And then challenge your beliefs. Most of what's draining your energy are beliefs you didn't choose. You ever think this? I'm not enough, or success requires sacrifice, or I have to do it all myself. I mean, these are inherited. They're not aligned beliefs. So start telling the truth to yourself first. You can't attract a life you're not honest about wanting. So tune into the joy. And yes, I'm serious about this. Joy is a high frequency state. But most high achievers have basically numbed themselves to it, right? They can't reconnect to joy, but they need to. You have to reconnect to joy, even small moments that matter. And try this. Work with your energy, not just your calendar. You don't need better time management. You need better energy management. Always remember, you're not failing. I mean, you're just out of alignment. If you've been grinding your way to a better life and you're wondering why it's not arriving, step back, take a breath, because it's not about your effort. You're already putting in more than enough of that. It's about the frequency. It's about energy. The question is, are your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions aligned with the outcome you want? Because if you're operating from low energy, like resentment or overwhelm and fear, you'll never hold on to the life you're working so hard to build. But when you start doing the inner work, when you start tuning your beliefs to support you rather than sabotage you, everything starts to shift. And that's the work I do now. It's not just coaching, it's energetic alignment. It's mindset reprogramming and leadership evolution all rolled into one. It's what the MindFlow Cycle was built for, helping high-performing professionals stop chasing and start attracting without losing their edge, without losing their family or their soul in the process. So, all right, my final thought is this. I mean, it is okay to wander, because if you're like me, you're intellectual, you're skeptical, you're spiritually curious, you might feel caught between two worlds, right? Too practical for the woo, too intuitive to ignore what you're feeling. And let me say this, it's okay to wander. It's okay not to have a label for what you believe, but at some point, you'll feel the pull back to yourself, to your own power, to your own energy, to your own truth. And when that happens, don't look for more hustle. Look for more alignment, because you're not meant to be burned out to build your dream. You're meant to raise your own frequency, to raise your energy so that your dream can meet you where you are. And if any of this resonated, just drop me a message. I'd love to hear from you. We'll talk human to human. No pitch, no pressure, just clarity. Because if you've watched this far, you're not lost. You're just on the edge of something new. So let's go there. Let's go there together. And don't forget to check out our website, www.mindflowcycle.com, for free resources, There's also a link there to schedule a conversation with me. I'd love to talk to you. And do subscribe. We appreciate it. It helps the channel out, and we'll see you next time. So stay tuned. Thanks a lot.